Okay, guys, this one's going to be so good. Today we're going to talk about the dangerous lie of work-life balance because I'm sure that it is something that most of us chase, but it's a lie. And I'm going to break it down for you. I spent years trying to chase work-life balance, and then I realized that the goal was making me feel like I was failing at everything. The goal to achieve work-life balance was making me feel like a terrible wife, terrible mom, terrible business owner, terrible friend, terrible everything. Because balance implies that everything gets equal weight all the time. But that is not real life. And it took me so long to figure this out. We have this insane pressure to do it all, especially as women. We feel like we have to carry the load for every single thing that we are involved in. And the fact is, we just can't. Social media makes us feel like, too, that this is possible and that people are doing this all the time. People make it look effortless, but that's not reality. With business, we have, so many goals there. We have so much work to do. There's content, there's scaling, there's all the things. And if you have a romantic relationship, there's just being present, just being mentally and emotionally present. That requires so much that most business owners don't have it in them to give to people. So you see a lot of romantic relationships fail when there is a business owner involved. Parenting, you've got to show up for your kids, show up for school, you have to be present, you have to do the things. There's a million different pieces involved in parenting. And then what about your personal self? What about being a better you with your health and your faith and your friendships, who you're becoming? Because as a business owner, a lot of times we are growing into the next version of ourselves. None of this is easy, and none of this is able to be balanced and do it all at the same time. All these posts that you see about people having it all, they don't show you that this one day that they captured where they have their morning routine, their green juice, going to the gym, all their work done by 9:30. That was one specific day and the rest of their week was utter chaos. We can see somebody building a business, yet being fully present for their kids, but we don't see the team behind them, the nanny, the VA, the mother-in-law, the babysitter. We don't see all the things, right? We see a post, my husband and I are true partners in everything, but they had a real conversation that likely was coming out of a really hard season. A lot of those people went through a season of potentially never seeing each other again, and they were able to save it. But what I can tell you is that I would be shocked if they saved that relationship while also scaling a profitable business, while also being a really good parent, while also being a really good friend. People who post online, I never miss a workout, I always prioritize my health, I always get 20,000 steps a day. You don't see that she burned out completely and had to start over. And so maybe now she does prioritize her health over everything else, but she's not doing it all at the same time. You're seeing one little piece, and then you're holding yourself to a standard that no one can achieve. Life happens in seasons. I think that the world is so cool. Living somewhere like I do, I get to experience all 4 seasons: summer, winter, fall, spring. And each one is so beautiful in its own way. Life happens in seasons. Sometimes we're in a building season. Sometimes we're in a resting season. Sometimes we're in a growth season. And sometimes we're in survival season. And I would be willing to bet that most of us feel like we're in survival season all the time. That's what leads us to burnout. That's what leads us to autoimmune diseases. That is what leads us to falling apart. Because survival season should just be a season. But for so many of us, it's become our life because we think all the other parts of it, all these other seasons, need to happen simultaneously. That's just not the case. If you want to pay attention to what season you're actually in, you need to think about what is the most important thing in my life right now. Not what you think it should be. Not, well, my kids are young, so right now it's my kids. But you're also growing a business and but also your marriage is failing, but also what is the most important thing to you in this moment, when you're being real and authentically you and true to yourself, the one thing that is most important to you in your life at this moment. What is draining you the most? Second question, what is draining you the most? And what does that tell me that needs to be changed? If something is draining you, we need to see what we can do to get that away. Ask yourself, if I'm being honest, what season do I feel like I'm in? Versus what season do I pretend to be in to the outside world? What would I need to let go of temporarily to honor the season I'm actually in? And does anyone in my life know what season I'm truly in? And for some of us, we don't even know what season we're in because it feels like literal chaos all the time. And you have to sit with that. You have to really think, okay, where am I really? There is nothing wrong with being in a building season for your business and at the same time having young kids. I don't want you to feel guilty for wanting something in your life when society tells us you should want something else. Because what I can tell you is that my kids are now 11 and 7. I have been growing a business their entire lives. And we have had seasons where I'm the most incredible mom ever. And we've had seasons where I've had to be creative to be a good mom. And we've had seasons where I've straight up told my kids, I'm failing you right now. Be patient with me. I promise this is a season. It's okay to be honest about where you're at. The real goal in life is alignment over balance. You will never have balance where there's an equal time for everything. If you try, it will feel fake. It will feel like a performance. You will measure everything by your output, so you'll never, ever measure up. You will go to bed in tears, quiet tears on your pillow every night, feeling like you have failed everyone and everything. And you lose the spark inside of yourself when you're trying to achieve balance because every day feels the same. Every day you wake up and all you're doing is trying to tread water all day long and keep your head above so that you don't drown. And it's exhausting and it will wear you out and it will take your spark away. Alignment means that there's time for matters most right now. Alignment is a decision. Alignment is measured by the peace that you feel throughout the day. Alignment is determined based on what you value in that season. And alignment is dynamic, which means it can shift as things change in your life. You need to give yourself permission to adjust. You have permission to say no to things that do not fit this season, even good things. It's okay to turn down good opportunities or good things if it doesn't align with the season that you're in. You have permission to let the business be quieter when your family needs you more. You have permission to go hard in your business when there's a season that calls for it, and you have permission to not feel guilty about it. You have permission to change your mind about what success looks like as your life changes. And you have permission to build a business that works for your family and not a hypothetical family. What does this even look like practically? Okay, this can look like having a family calendar where family events get blocked first before business scheduling. If you're in a season where family first is very important. School events, date nights, family trips are just non-negotiables on the calendar. What's on the calendar gets protected, and if it's not on the calendar, it's not happening. And then you work your work around it. Boundaries aren't rules that we post on Instagram. They're decisions that we make, and boundaries are important no matter what season we're in because that is how we set ourselves up for success and for not failing everywhere. If your work hours are supposed to be scheduled around family time, when family time comes up, you shut down work. So it means putting your phone down, turning it fully off. There's this cool little thing that I was gifted called a brick, and you can select what all it locks you out of. So you take your phone, you put it up to the brick, and it shuts you out of whatever you said. Emails, social media, like whatever. You can make it where like you literally just can get phone calls. You have to protect what you're focused on. If you cross the boundary, you're going to have grace with yourself, obviously, but the goal is to be very strict in protecting this season that you're in. Having non-negotiables and protecting your priorities is the only way to make it through any of these seasons. So you can have a non-negotiable for like, once I make a meeting, I stick to it. And like, hold yourself to that. That's fine. Or you can say, okay, if somebody comes to me with an opportunity and it doesn't feel aligned with where I'm at, this is what I will do. And you make it a non-negotiable. And when that happens, because it will, you know exactly how you need to respond to it. You can find your non-negotiables and your priorities by focusing on what it is that you need in this season. What needs to happen that can't be delegated, and figure out what feels most important to you. There are some different questions you can ask yourself, like, what if I took it away would make me feel like I lost myself? That's a non-negotiable then. That is a priority worth protecting. You could ask yourself, what does your family need from you that you cannot delegate? Okay, that becomes a priority and a non-negotiable. You can ask yourself, what does my body need that I can't continue to skip? Maybe it's just your supplements. Okay, well, it's a priority. It's a non-negotiable. You put it on the calendar every single day. What does your faith or your spiritual life need to look like to stay grounded? Make it a non-negotiable and protect it. Are the expectations you currently have for yourself matching the season that you're in? I don't want you to think you have to do more. I want you to think that you have permission to let go of the extra that is not serving you for this specific season. Now, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, okay, listen, lady, you don't understand. Like, my marriage is failing. My kids feel like I suck. My business is drowning. Like, you don't get it. I have to be everywhere. And what I want to tell you is that I know. I've been there. That was my life for a long time. And it led me to the diagnosis of lupus, which is an autoimmune disease that, from what everyone can currently tell, stems from being in fight or flight for too long and your body basically being like, I quit because you suck. And so that's what happened. I got really, really, really sick. Really sick. And I do not want that from you. If you are walking that path right now, I do want to tell you that there can be light at the end of the tunnel. It's a lot of work. It requires a lot of this. If you think the Lord not there, want to tell you that you could wake up tomorrow and be there. Because I was fine, and then I was not. And it happens very quickly, and it changes everything. And what I want for you is for you never to experience that. And because that's just like a result of something. Like, it's all the feelings that led to that. It's all the feelings of unworthiness. It's all the feelings of helplessness and feeling lost and feeling the amount of guilt that you carry when you can't hit the mark anywhere. I remember telling my kids last August, I homeschooled them their whole lives. And I reached a point I was like, I can't keep doing this. I was homeschooling them and I was running the business and like I was doing all the things and I had gotten sick. And I was like, guys, I want nothing more than to keep you home and homeschool you. I have to wave the white flag and tell you I can't do it. And I'm so sorry, but you're going to have to go to school this year. And they were devastated and I was devastated, and it was like the hardest decision because it's not what we wanted, and I felt like I was being forced to make that choice instead of it being something I had chosen, like because I had a choice. It was just you were backed into a corner, and that was it. And so I made the decision and I said, give me this school year and I promise you I will go so hard on this business. I will create systems. I will hire the right team. I will do everything to make sure that for next school year, you guys going to school is a choice. And they were like, that made sense to them. They were like, okay, I get it. And I will tell you that I have never worked as hard in my life as I have worked over this last school year. because I made a promise to them and it became a non-negotiable. That was the priority. The priority was work. So I leveraged everything that I could. What can I do to give me more time? I hired somebody to come clean the house twice a week. I built a team. I took a cut in my pay to be able to do so many different things. So many different times I'll just take it off my pay to where my pay is pretty much like not there. I don't care. I did everything I could do to build this so that I was able to have what I wanted, which was giving my kids and I the choice about schooling when the new school year rolls around. That is the kind of decisions you have to make to get yourself out of the pit. It is hard. It is not easy. And I'm not saying your season could be a weekly. Okay, you could do weekly seasons until you pull yourself out of the hole that you've created for yourself. It doesn't have to be quarters. It doesn't have to be years. Like, it can be short-lived. It can be days. It can be day by day. Today, I'm going to focus on my business. And my kids are going to play independently. Or I'm going to hire a babysitter for the day. Or whatever. It could be, today I'm going to focus on my health. I'm going to go for a long walk today. I'm going to not focus on business whatsoever. Today I'm going to be fully involved with my kids. And I'm going to play. And I'm going to play hard. And I'm not going to do business. Whatever it needs to look like for you, it's okay. But you just have to go hard for whatever it is so that you can get yourself out of the survival season that you've been in for so long. It is possible. There is hope on the other side. I know it can feel really overwhelming to even try to figure out how to get out when you're in a hole so deep. But it just starts with one little change. Try it. Try the daily seasons for 2 weeks. And then maybe you can bump it out to 2 or 3 days for a season. Or maybe you can do weekly. But do something. Start by creating systems in every single thing that you do. One of the things I implemented was before I was able to hire the cleaner, was having a chore chart for every single person in our household so that we stayed on top of things. And it was daily. Everyone had a little something to do every single day because it shouldn't fall all on me anyway, Creating systems that people around you can also help you with, implement, like whatever you need to do. You do it and you get yourself out of the hole and you start living the life that you have been waiting to live because life is short and you've just got to start living it. All right, guys, if you need anything from us, reach out. We're here to help you. I would love to hold your hand through whatever season that you're in. We love you guys so much. Me and my team, there is nothing we want more than to see each person that comes into our world succeed. And we want to connect with you. We want you to know that we are on your side. So you can reach out to us on Instagram. You can email us. You can go to our website, fill out a form. I don't care how you get in touch with us, but don't feel like you have to do it alone. We're here for you. I love you so much. I hope you have the best week ever, and I'll talk to you soon.